All right, let's talk about something I'm betting you've seen before. You know, when a friend gets into a new relationship and poof, they're gone. In this explainer, we're going to get into why a good love-life balance isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
It's a classic story, right? One minute, your group chat is on fire, and the next, crickets. Your friends have all coupled up, and you're left wondering, hello, where'd everyone go? Or maybe you're the one in the relationship, and you suddenly realize you haven't seen your best friend in months.
Well, if you've ever felt that, I'm here to tell you, you are not going crazy. That disappearing act, it's not just in your head. It's a real, measurable social pattern that researchers have actually documented.
So what's the deal? Why does this happen? Well, it has a name. Some social scientists call it the couple fortress. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the actual science behind why couples tend to pull up the drawbridge on the rest of the world.
This brings us to a sociologist named Kaisa Korne. She was deep in her research on relationships in Finland, mapping out people's social circles. And when she saw the data, she admitted she was, and I'm quoting here, a little bit shocked by the intense pattern she found.
And this chart, wow, this is basically what shocked her. For so many couples, their partner and kids form this massive 80% chunk of their social world, and everyone else, friends, parents, siblings, coworkers, they all get squeezed into these tiny little slivers on the edge. And before you write this off as some quirky Finnish thing, hold on. Economist Katie Genadek looked at US data and found a very similar trend. In fact, get this. Couples in America today spend slightly more one-on-one time together than they did way back in 1965.
So, okay, what's the big deal? Spending time with the person you love, that sounds good, but building this couple fortress comes with some serious hidden costs. Costs that can hurt your friendships, yourself, and yeah, even the relationship you're trying to protect.
First up, let's talk about your support system. Study after study shows that people in intense partnerships tend to be less connected to, well, everyone else. And that leaves you incredibly vulnerable when life happens. A new baby, a layoff, a health scare. Suddenly you need a village and you realize you've let it drift away. Because, let's be real, no couple can do it all alone.
The second cost hits a little closer to home. It's a cost to you. All those unique hobbies, goals, and friendships that make you who you are, they can start to wither on the vine. Psychologists have a term for this, which we'll get into, called a lack of self-differentiation. It's where me and you get so blurred that you start mirroring each other's bad moods and even your stress hormones, like cortisol.
So let's break that down because it's a really important idea. Self-differentiation is basically knowing who you are separate from your partner. It's having a strong internal compass. It's what allows you to be an amazing, supportive partner without completely losing yourself in the process.
And here is the biggest irony of all. The third cost is to the very relationship you're pouring everything into. When you expect one person to be your everything, your lover, your best friend, your therapist, your social director, the pressure is just immense. It can make the relationship feel stale, and you miss out. You don't get to see that hilarious side of your partner that only comes out with their college buddies.
Okay, so that's the problem. But this isn't about doom and gloom, and it is definitely not about choosing between your partner and your friends. There is a much healthier way to think about all of this.
Psychologists say that for a happy life, we all need to satisfy two core needs. On one hand, there's relatedness. That's our need for connection, for intimacy. But on the other hand, there's autonomy, our need for freedom, to be our own person and follow our own path. A healthy relationship nails both.
And here's the part that might blow your mind. These two things, connection and freedom, they're not opposites fighting each other. As psychologist Richard Ryan says, you really can't have one without the other. In fact, they feed each other. The more you feel like your own person, the better, more connected partner you can be.
All right, so much for the theory. How do we actually do this? How do we open the gates to that couple fortress and find a real, sustainable balance in our own lives? Let's get into some practical, concrete steps.
Okay, here are 3 things you can start doing right now. First, Kaisa Korne calls this inclusive intimacy. Stop thinking about your relationships like a pyramid, with your partner at the top and everyone else below. Think of it like a web, all connected. Second, actually talk about and plan for time apart, and it's a negotiation, not a fight. And third, just lower the bar. Not every hangout has to be a perfectly planned dinner party. A quick coffee or a walk totally counts.
When you boil it all down, it really comes to this.
I think the psychologist Benjamin Carney just says it perfectly. Relationships need to be nourished. Your relationship with your partner does, and all of your other relationships do too. They all need water. They all need attention.
And that's the question I really want to leave you with. Think about it for a second. Your whole web of connections. Which one of those relationships, with a friend, a family member, or your partner, are you going to make a point to nourish today?